Hello student, this is chapter 2 tutorial 3. In the previous lecture tutorial, we went through how to use categorical variables and frequency to capture the properties. And in this video, we are doing the same frequency but for numeric data. You will be able to download the audit data Excel document from the web page. Double click to open it. As you can see that this data consists of the year-end audit times in terms of days. And there are a total of 20 companies or 20 departments. And for each department, the year-end audit time are different. The smallest time taken is 12 days. And the longest time taken is 33 days. So how do we summarize the data? First, let's take a look at the end product of the tutorial, which is a histogram of the frequency for different groups, or we call it bins. First of all, pay special attention to this bin, or with this column. The label for this column is 10 to 14, which is the bin width from 10 days to 14 days. And how many companies or departments falls into this bin width? There are a total of 4 companies that is between 10 days to 14 days. For the second bin, the bin width is 15 to 19. And there are a total of 8 companies. How many bins do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So keep in mind that the average bin width is 5 and the total number of bins is 5 too. Let's go back to our original data. So how do we arrive at the number of bins equals 5 and the bin width equals 5? In order to represent the data in a decent format, usually we choose the number of bins between 5 and 20, depending on the size of the data. The smaller the data is, the less the bin it should be. Considering that we only have how many companies? If we count correctly, we have a total of 20 companies, which is considered to be small, so we decided to have 5 bins or 5 columns. Since we have the number of bins as 5, the way to calculate the bin width is to use the largest number, which is 33, minus the smallest number, which is 12, and divide it by 5. And then round it up, we have the bin width equals 5. Now, let's start crunching the data. Next, we will start crunching the data by typing the bin information. In cell H1, we type the bin and hit enter to move on to the next one. The first bin range is from 10 to 14. So we type 10 to 14 in there. Second will be 15 to 19. Continuously hitting enter and typing the new information, which is 20 to 24. And then we have 25 to 29, 30 to 34. The last part is the more. We would like to highlight cell H1 and set it to be bold. And highlight cell H7, set it to be bold. Well, the issue with this format of bin is that, first of all, Excel does not understand 10 to 14, 15 to 19. It only understands simple numbers like 14, 19, 24, 29, 34. And so Excel comes up with a simple model that you only need to let Excel know the upper bound, which is currently 14, and 19 here. We have 24, 29, and 34. So that we complete column I, so Excel understands how to decide which is in what bin. Then in cell J1, we type the frequency. And go back to J1, highlight frequency and set it to be bold. Make it slightly wider so that we can see the word frequency in it. The next step is the most important one. We don't need to count it ourselves using the COUNTIF function because we are counting the numeric values for certain bins that we have already specified. So we use a new function which is frequency. Similarly, we select the range J2 to J6. This is very important. We are not selecting one single cell. We are selecting a range J2 to J6. And then we start typing equal sign, frequency. As frequency popped up, and you can use double click to select that. The first thing is the data range. Where is the data range? That's from A2 to D6. You select that range and then type comma. Where is the bins array? We just customized column I so that it's only giving me one number at a time. So we select this range I2 to I6 and type close parentheses. Tricky part here is you do not hit enter. Instead, you will use Control and press and hold Control plus Shift and then hit enter so that automatically this will fill out all the fields here. And that completes our exercise for frequency. And later on, remember, our end product is what? Our end product is the histogram, and we are almost there. Step number 1 is to select range H1 to H6, and then press and hold Control key on your keyboard. Then select range J1 to J6. Release your mouse, release the Control key, so that you are selecting non-adjacent range 1 and 2. Next, we'll click the Insert tab. And we need to find this one, which is the column or bar chart. And we will use the simple frequency clustered column chart, which is 2D column chart. And we will make some modifications. Right click any of the columns that you select, and then we select Format Data Series. Change the gap width to be 0. And select the fill in line. We select the border, solid line, and make sure that the width of the border line is 1. And now we click close, click back. It says frequency and with certain bins, and that's exactly what we are looking for. That concludes our tutorial 3 for chapter 2.